It's a new year, new show. Here we go. It's in this very ring. Rock, Roman, Elimination Chamber, or WrestleMania. Here we go.
What's up, my family? Listen, first time listener, or you've been here the whole damn time. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, giddy up, let's go, no notes.
That's my baby. I'm dying. That's my baby.
We're going at it at 110%.
I just want 5 minutes of happiness, please. Just give me 5 minutes.
And they scored! They did it!
Slap.
What the hell was that? Oh, yeah!
What the f*** are you talking about?
Hey, yo. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It is Friday night. It is 10:30 Eastern, 9:30 Central, and it is time for In This Very Ring. I am the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. I am the man known as Ritz. I am back after my 1 month hiatus. Congratulations.
About damn time.
Shut up. Congratulations to both the OGP from Birds of a Feather, Mr. Pete Evans, and the mayor of Toasty Town, Butters, for holding down the fort while I was gone. You guys did fantastic.
Well, of course.
Did you expect anything else?
Well, Pete, you did great.
Thank you.
Screw you.
Well, you're just supporting cast, and we've all come to accept that.
I wasn't working with the full deck, so I just
He called you a booster pack. That's fantastic.
We all y'all's asses.
We are brought to you by our friends at Alonzi Travel. Alonzi Travel, specializing in creating the vacation of your dreams at Disney, Universal, or wherever your heart calls you. Let their talented team of travel experts, including yours truly, create a custom vacation for you without any of the stress. Alonzi on over to alonzi-travel.com/take the trip to get in touch with myself or A2D's Chuck Sparanin. We can start planning your next stress-free magical vacation tonight. And big shout out to the team over at Alonzi Travel. It was just announced yesterday. Alonzi is now an earmarked producer in the Disney earmarked program. We are earmarked silver. It's a huge deal to be officially recognized by Disney and everything like that. So congratulations to everybody on all their hard work over there at Alonzi Travel.
congrats.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
It was kind of surreal to see the post go out yesterday. Like, we were told about it, and then she's like, all right, I'll make a post, in the next couple of days. And she made the post, and with a tear in my eye.
Yeah, he's a crier, folks. He's a crier.
When it's good.
And his fangirl screaming.
No, it's just a tear in my eye.
No, we know you were fangirl screaming.
Anyway, our topic of conversation today brought to you by our friends at SpecializedPhysicalTherapy.com. The Rock will challenge Roman Reigns at Elimination Chamber. Agree or disagree? Let me set the stage for you. Monday night, WWE Day 1. Dwayne The Rock Johnson makes a surprise appearance, and at the end of his segment with Jinder Mahal, looks at the San Diego crowd and says, San Diego, I'm going to go out to eat tonight. Should I sit in a booth, a bar, or the head of the table? And the place went bananas. The internet went bananas. It was weird, though. When they come back from commercial, they don't play the clip again. Michael Cole alludes to the clip, but they don't play the clip again. And as soon as that happens, throughout the rest of the show and early Tuesday morning, the internet runs rampant with it's going to be Rock and Roman at Elimination Chamber because Cody's going to finish the story at WrestleMania. So I ask you, gentlemen, one, we're going to have a couple of questions throughout this segment. One, will The Rock challenge Roman Reigns at Elimination Chamber? And then two, will Roman be the champion come WrestleMania?
Well, let's see. What was I? Fuck. Sorry.
Focus.
Sorry. No, I'm gonna disagree to the poll. Rock's not challenging Roman at Elimination Chamber. It's gonna be at Mania, and it's gonna be without the title because I can almost guarantee he's losing it at Rumble. He's not getting pinned, and Cody. It'll most likely be Cody versus Orton at Rumble at this point.
You mean at WrestleMania?
At WrestleMania, yes.
Because that does
for Cody to finish the story. It's easier for them to do this fatal 4-way at the Rumble. Somebody else can take the pin. Roman doesn't get pinned. He loses his title, yes, but now you can have Roman versus Rock at Mania. You can have Cody versus Orton at Mania. Finish the story. I swear to God, if you don't finish the story at Mania, I'm gonna scream.
Well, so I think it's a unique, and the comments are flying off. We're gonna get to those in just a second. And I love the way you worded all of that, because I don't agree with you on certain aspects, but it doesn't have to be Roman for Cody to finish the story. Everybody is so hung up on the fact of Cody, Roman. That's the only way Cody finishes the story. No, the story is becoming champion. So it could be fucking Michael Cole with the title. I'm proving a point here.
Pete's face.
I'm proving a point. But Michael Cole could have the title. Cody Rhodes wins the championship. Cody finished the story. Right? So it's a very interesting way to think about it. And it's in my opinion, the right way to think about it. But Pete, before I give you my thoughts, I want to hear what you have to say.
Disagree to the poll. I agree with the fact that Roman won't be champion come Mania. I didn't think about the Cody Orton aspect of it. I was thinking more of Priest walks out of Rumble as a champion, and it's Cody Priest because of the history with the Judgment Day and going there. I will say I think Punk wins the Rumble. That's what I think wins the Rumble. I think he cements his place as the main event at WrestleMania, something he's always wanted to do. But then you figure out a way to get Cody there. So I like the Cody Orton aspect of it, right? I think here. Okay. Let me follow me here, and this is where I think you can get a little cheeky, a little bit. The poll question is: The Rock will challenge Roman Reigns at Elimination Chamber. So if I'm looking this and taking this verbiage literally, I will agree to the poll from that standpoint that The Rock shows up because it's in Australia. It's a big show. And he says, me, you, Mania, let's do it. So if that's how you look, if that's how your evil mind is looking at this, and this is how you're posing that poll question, then I agree to the poll. I think by the way you're smiling, I think I may have cracked the code.
Not entirely.
Okay.
Don't get me wrong. I did leave that there as a loophole.
Okay. For
somebody to take it very literally, to take it in the aspect of at Elimination Chamber, they'll set the stage for WrestleMania. I'm going to go to some of these comments because I don't want these guys to think that we're ignoring them, and then I'm going to give you my thoughts.
I'm not. You might be.
Bite me. Brian Daly from Hockey Happy Hour. What's good, fellas? Brian agrees to the poll for now, but then comes in just a little bit later and goes, you know what? I disagree. I think The Rock shows up at the Rumble, distracts Roman to cost him the title. AGD Wednesday night and agree to disagrees. Greg Milakovic, what's up, fellas? He also agrees to the poll. Brad chiming in, hey guys, your thoughts on Authors of Pain's return and teaming with Karrion Kross? Brad, hang out for a little bit. We're gonna touch on that in This Week in Wrestling. This segment is going to be Rock and Roman. The next segment is going to be talking Adam Cole and Undisputed Kingdom. And then when we get to This Week in Wrestling, we're actually going to kick things off with the Authors of Pain's return to team with Karrion Kross. Brad goes on to say The Rock versus Roman at WrestleMania, so he disagrees to the poll. CM Punk versus Seth, he agrees with. And then Brian Wilson chiming in, what's up, boys? Happy New Year. Your co-host, Chucks. Yo, gentlemen. OGP lawyered the shit out of that poll question. Yes, he did. Disagree. Elimination Chambers at 5 a.m. Eastern.
Want to do a live show?
Yeah, right? Oh, my God. That means it's at 4.
Yes, it's at 4 a.m. our time.
Who thought that was a good idea?
That's Australia for you. I mean,
So you know what? I swear to God, I didn't think about that. in building my answer for tonight. So thank God for loopholes, because I may just go with what Pete just said. But here was my answer. I won't shy away from it. I agree to the poll question in the sense that at Elimination Chamber, it will be Rock versus Roman. And I said this the other day to a coworker of mine. You know WrestleMania is going to be a big draw.
Yarp.
Huge.
But you have Elimination Chamber. It's your first Australia show. It is at a weird time. Now it's at a weirder time because I didn't put 2 and 2 together, right? So what are you going to do to make people want to watch Elimination Chamber? Because you still have to have the quote-unquote live rating, right? The live, numbers for Peacock and everything like that. What do? Well, if you tell me you're going to give me Rock versus Roman, my happy ass will be up at 4 a.m. on whatever day that is in February to watch the damn thing. I will, because I want to watch it live. I don't want to see the edited taped version after the fact.
Question for you. What is Seth doing with his title at Rumble?
I don't 100% know yet.
They haven't got that far yet.
The reason why I say that is because we're all sitting here thinking that Elimination Chamber is going to center around the Undisputed title, where I think now what they're doing is the big title for that brand is going to be defended. So, and this will be in the coming weeks. If they don't do anything with Seth in a world heavyweight title match at Rumble, you could almost book it that EC is going to be that match is going to be for the world heavyweight title. If that's the case.
Well, and in the past, right, whatever brand didn't win the Royal Rumble, they got the chamber match for either the title or for the number one contendership for said title. Mm-hmm. There's a very good possibility that neither title is defended at Elimination Chamber.
Okay.
Because you are on the road to WrestleMania. This is the last stop. It's your last chance to make some big moves leading into your time where you're supposed to be building that card and that hype around each of these matches. So very, very big possibility that the Elimination Chamber match is for the number one contendership. Because I do think we see Seth defending his title at the Royal Rumble. I don't think it's against Punk.
Right, I think that's too early.
Even though they're starting to tease it, I don't think we see it. I think we see some kind of blow-off kind of match with Seth, right? Because it's so, and I loved when I wrote this today. In the past few months, we have Cody re-shifting his focus and bringing up the story more and more often. We have the return of CM Punk. We have The Rock making it what we knew was scheduled to happen for last year, in the sense of him going after Roman. Now The Rock's finally, for no pun intended, acknowledging Roman. So now we know that The Rock is playing a role in WrestleMania. It takes what we all thought was going to happen with the Royal Rumble and probably threw it out the window for everybody.
Dumped it on its head.
Right? So, how do I word this?
Very carefully.
Yeah. I think it goes down to Cody and Punk are the last two. Okay? Everybody knows Cody wants to finish the story. There is a part of me that says Cody still wins the Royal Rumble and Punk wins the chamber match. Because Punk is better when he's hungrier and when he's just a little pissed off.
I can see that.
Because if Punk wins the Royal Rumble, you almost can't not. He's not on. He hasn't been on every week. He did that first week where he was on a lot, and then after that, he's kind of every other week, every couple.
He's an attraction right now.
Right. He's a draw.
Mm-hmm.
Your Royal Rumble winner has never been a draw, in the sense of somebody that's not on every single week. You're parading him out in front of the cameras. You're reminding people, I'm going to WrestleMania. Remember this moment right here? Yeah, that's me. That's where I'm going. Cody is that person to do that. Cody is the right person to come out every single week, point at the sign, do the stupid bit. Because Punk won't point at the sign. Screw that. Right. Now, you want to tell me, hey, Punk's going to be in Australia. There's a good chance The Rock's going to be in Australia.
There's a good chance I'm watching.
There's a great chance I'm watching.
I mean, I'm watching regardless.
Right. But there are so many more factors now in play for Australia.
That's where, if you just think about it, right? It's a great problem to have. But WrestleMania 40, this is shaping up to be huge.
Well, and it should, though.
But whatever match, it's almost like you have to take the title. You have to take the title off of Roman now, which in this way, how things are coming together, and it sounds like they came together pretty fast, is kind of, I wouldn't want to see Roman lose it in this way and that 1,000 plus day reign like this. But if you're going to do it for this, it makes sense if you're doing it to get to him versus The Rock, right? It's almost like what CM Punk's reign was in 2013, right? 2012 to 2013 or 2013 to 2014, when he took it off him at Royal Rumble, where it's really like this, but you know what they were trying to get to is Cena versus Rock for the title, right? So, because essentially you're going to have Rock versus Roman. That's the plan. That has the main event tonight. And I think Seth versus Punk has the main event tonight. But that means that Cody and whoever he's facing for the undisputed title at that point, that has to open, in my opinion. You can't.
No. So hold on. Let's back up. So one, we're all in agreement. Rock Roman doesn't need the title.
No, yeah,
right?
It's stupid if it needs a title.
Because if he has the title, Roman's winning. If he doesn't have the title, okay, we may be going 50-50 here.
Right.
Right? There's a chance The Rock could actually win. 2, what's to say it's not Punk and Seth opening? How many times?
I think you could do that.
How many times in the last few years
right,
has Seth Rollins opened WrestleMania?
I mean, he did it in 2019. He did it in 2015 against Orton.
He did it the year he wrestled Brock.
That was 2019. That was 19.
Was it? I don't. Yeah. Numbers are elusive to me at this point.
Well, it's 2024. This is WrestleMania 40. 40 minus 35 is 5.
In all fairness, years don't matter. I just focus on the actual WrestleManias.
Okay.
Right.
35.
Because I was also there, and it was a long flipping day.
Here we go again.
It was, man. But my point being, though, Seth is someone where you absolutely want to kick off WrestleMania with, right? He's that high energy that gets the crowd going from just his song. Screw what he does in the ring, just that music playing alone. And then if you tell me it's going to be him versus Punk
in the main event of night one,
no, kicking off night one.
Nah, they're main eventing.
No, but and here's the other thing. Here's my other problem with WrestleMania. We have to stop referring to matches as main eventing WrestleMania because they always have 2 to 3 quote unquote co-main events. What is going to close out night 1? What is going to close out night 2? Right? I think Rock and Roman, if that match is at WrestleMania, that match closes out night 2.
Of course.
I
go home
think,
with that.
yes, you absolutely do.
And then Punk and Rollins is going to close night 1.
I don't. It depends on the story build. And really for Trips, it's just like, what does he want to do? What message does he want to send? Don't get me wrong. Punk is here. Rollins is here. Don't like each other.
You open up Mania with LA Knight versus Logan Paul for the U.S. title.
You can do that night too.
You
could do that night too.
I think you almost have to do that night too.
Yeah, because I like that idea, but the reason why I'm saying it is because they have more invested in finishing the story. This finish the story shit has been going on now for 2 years, especially if you have this dude with back-to-back Rumbles. And you also have to look at the dance partner that he's going to, if he's going to go with Orton as his dance partner for Mania, there's so much history there. There's more history there than Punk versus Rollins.
And this could very well be Orton's last WrestleMania.
Yes, that's the other thing. And if he wants to do business and he wants to go out on his shield and he wants to per se, and he wants to make somebody,
you give him that honor of closing out night 1.
Yep.
Right? If he's gonna do the job for you, and for lack of a better phrase, and no disrespect to Randy at all, but if he's going to be a quote-unquote transitional champion to protect Roman, but also let Cody finish this whole character that he's built for himself, you give him night 1.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Punk Seth can go literally anywhere on the card.
Yeah.
And it does fine. But if you're gonna do now, here's the flip side of this. I just said Punk Seth should open WrestleMania. But if you're gonna do Randy Cody to close night 1, Punk Seth now has to go on night 2. You can't put both big titles on one night.
You can, because if you have Rock Roman on night 2, then
no.
That's going to be.
I agree with that. So that means you would have Logan, LA Knight open up night 1, and then Punk versus Rollins open up night 2.
Yep. And here's the other side. Here's the other thing. No disrespect to night 1 of WrestleMania, but all eyes will be on night 2, no matter what. They always are, and they have been since they started doing 2-night WrestleManias. Because, it's a Saturday night. Okay, whatever. It's WrestleMania. Big deal. I mean, hell, look at our numbers from last year. Look at our night 1 live reaction show. And then go look at the views on our night 2 live reaction show. They were almost double.
So then in that case, you close out night 1 with Punk versus Rollins, and then open night 2 with Cody versus Orton? Because Orton has also done opening matches at Mania as well.
Yeah, but I think if this is his last one,
I hear you. I hear you.
Give him that swan song moment.
Right.
I think Cody hits him with the crossroads, finishes the story. Whoa! Right in Lincoln Financial Field, and then it pans back to Orton. Orton's music plays. Orton walks out, stands at the top of the ramp, hits the pose one last time. The fireworks hit, yada, yada, yada. He goes away.
Okay. I mean, it's a great like, if you just go back a year ago from today, this show, the first Friday of 2023, and you're doing a show, and you just look at the roster and where WWE is as a company, and you fast forward that year. My God, it's chicken salad. It's chicken shit and chicken salad, bro. It's crazy.
It is. It absolutely is. Marley says if Punk wins the Rumble, he's closing out one of those nights. But that's why I don't think Punk wins the Rumble.
But also, when Seth won the Rumble in 2019, what happened? It was the first match. It's first match of the night. WrestleMania 35 was the first match. And that will all be because Brock wanted to get the hell out of there, but still.
And I don't blame him, right? Robert says Punk Story's main eventing WrestleMania. Orton has said he's nowhere near done, but who knows? And you're right. Robert, you're right. Orton did say he's nowhere near done, but what's to say that he's working a full-time schedule right now?
Yeah.
What's to say he doesn't, for lack of a better phrase, become the next Undertaker? Only come around a couple times a year for big stories, big matches at big events. Right? Because, yeah, Daddy's home, but do we really need to see Daddy every week?
Point.
I mean, hell, I saw mine every other week for years.
That just doesn't. Never mind.
Why my parents are divorced? It's not a secret.
That's not where I was going with that one.
But anyway.
He digresses.
I absolutely do. Back to it, though. I do think we see... Because Rock and Roman also, if you think about it, since Roman's done the head of the table bit, they have not been on screen together.
No.
At all. They've kept these two so far away from me. And I'm not even talking like... Because what was it? Shaw and Hobbs was before this. Right? I'm even thinking of like movies and different, red carpet appearances and this, that, and the other thing. You have not seen these two together in years.
And you haven't, and Rock has never even said anything in support or lack thereof about Roman until Monday.
Correct.
That was the only Roman reference we have ever had. So,
Someone says, this past week at WWE finally gave us all a brain. Been a while. Where are we going? So many forks in the road.
And so many parallels.
I take a little issue because it's been like this for the last couple months now. Right? Because we keep coming on here and we go, all right, that story we can predict, but this story I have no idea what you're doing. And not in a bad way, right? Like sometimes there have been times where we've come on this show and go, what in God's name just happened? What was that? But now we're saying, where are we right now?
It's so many different, it's like the multiverse, man. You can go in so many different directions. Like when we get to This Week in Wrestling, specifically a question that already came up, I was completely, I don't say flabbergasted, but I was taken aback about the direction of where we're going with certain things. But it's like, it's almost like the ending of the book and the biggest parts of the book of WrestleMania 40 are going to be already written in some form or fashion, right? So you got these. Go ahead.
No, they have. You're absolutely right. When you look at both main titles, in all reality, both secondary titles, because it's going to be LA Knight, versus Logan Paul on one side, and then somehow we're going to get Gunther versus Chad Gable. We're going to come back to that, right?
Hopefully.
And then when you look at the tag titles, okay, there's a small part of me
about splitting them back up again too. So
there's a small part of me that says you could see the New Day go after the tag titles. You could see Jimmy and Kofi, kind of the best of two of the greatest tag teams.
And Kofi, Jesus,
huh?
You said Jimmy and Kofi.
Yes, I did. Jay and Kofi. Sorry, we were talking trash in one of my group chats earlier today about the new merch that came out for Jimmy, and so that's been on my mind. We were just absolutely destroying all of that.
That shitty merch.
The yeet no shirt, stupid.
No yeet.
But and then so the tag titles will probably do some combination of that. Mm-hmm. The women's tag titles will either be Piper and Chelsea, or we'll go to a multi-team facet like we did again. I think we see man, I really wanted Io and Charlotte at Mania. But I think we're gonna see Io and
Bailey.
I think Io and Bayley, because I think Bayley's going to win the Women's Royal Rumble. And then when you look at the who has it on Raw, Rhea.
Isn't that supposed to be Rhea Becky?
I think it's going to be Rhea Becky at Mania.
Yeah, I've heard rumblings of that.
I mean, there's also the wild card out there, but I just don't think that's going to get done because she's betting on herself. So I hope it would, but probably not.
Well, and then you also think of the wild card of Jade too.
Yep. I mean, at this point,
Jade could surprise, and I don't think so. I don't think we're there yet.
I think she'll be in the Rumble though.
I do think she might make an appearance in the Rumble, but I don't think she wins the Rumble. But that could be the perfect opportunity for her. So you look at all the titles, and all the title matches are pretty much lined out. Give or take small little tweaks and adjustments here and different things like that. Specifically with the tag titles and the uncertainty there, because I won't say they're lacking in the tag division. They just don't have any concurrent storylines happening right now.
Right.
Because you still have Alpha Academy. You still have the Street Profits. You still don't know. Now you have AOP back, right? There are opportunities here. Chrome's chiming in. Roman's dropping the title without getting pinned at Rumble. Orton, Cody for the title at Mania. I don't hate the idea, but at the same time, and Pete, you alluded to it earlier. You had the title on Roman for over 1,000 days. There is a part of me that wants that satisfaction of seeing him get pinned.
Not so much seeing him get pinned. I mean, I can see that.
Well, if you're gonna take in the aspect of if you're gonna take the title off of him, pin him.
Well, here's the thing. This is how can I say this? It doesn't hurt him if he's in the match, cheating and doing whatever they do. Do you smell hits? Comes out, rock bottom, people's elbow. 1-2, whoever pins on 1, 2, 3 goes on. Nobody's going to be mad at that. That doesn't hurt him, and it doesn't hurt the whoever and you just elevate the person with the title, so he can still be pinned, and he can still be like he was probably never ever going to lose clean.
And again, you're both making great points, and I agree. I agree with both of you. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
But it's more or less the fact of you had this title for 3 years.
I 100% absolutely agree.
Right. And let me put it this way. I would fight this argument more if I didn't think Roman Rock was on the horizon. No, because Chrome's right. It hurts the family story if he takes a pin before he faces The Rock.
But does it hurt the story from the aspect of where he feels weak? Because he hasn't.
No, because that gives The Rock more ammunition.
That's my point. Because at this point now you're saying The Rock that you give Roman a reason to really react and lash out because all right, you cost me something, and now I feel like I'm coming for your spot. So if The Rock is the aggressor, if The Rock is the one who's chasing after Roman for this mythical head of the table, right? He's throwing the first punch. He's throwing the first blow. And then at that point, it's catching Roman off guard. So now for the next 2 months, 3 months, he has to retaliate at that point.
And that didn't sound good. I don't know if I like the word aggressor necessarily. The way I view it, when it comes to The Rock specifically, I look at The Rock as somebody that would sit on that elder council and prove yourself, right? And so losing the title, whether The Rock gets involved or not, right? Roman losing the title now as an elder within the family, right? Within the family, all right, we need to challenge. Your authority has been questioned. Your position has been challenged. You do not hold as much power as you used to have. You brought dishonor and shame upon the family. by not being able to defend your gold and this, that, and the other thing.
You don't have as much power now because Nick Aldis is bucking back.
That's a whole different that has in the story aspect of it, that has nothing to do with it when you look at
story's bigger than all this is to me.
But just when you look at the family,
right,
all this bucking back, while it's good, right, it does add more depth. You could still write this story, this angle, and everything like that without all this. All this is supporting cast. He's like you. He's a booster pack. I'm never going to let this die. It's great.
Like the story transcends any GM. It transcends any title, in my opinion, because the family transcends that. You have over 60 years of lineage of the Samoa family, of the Anoa'i family in WWE, in the wrestling entertainment business, and this is the two most figureheaded pinnacles of that, right? And now you have them clash against each other. And what else is more than just a title? What else is more than titles? Is leather, gold, and diamonds. This is about pride. This is about family. So that's why, like he said, like the whole thing he did with
Peaches in the synopsis for Fast and Furious 11.
Exactly. But look at what he did with Jay. Like what he did with Jay. If you want the title, you want the title. This title don't mean anything. You take it all. When they set up the match for SummerSlam. So if they've already went the route to say, hey, this is if it's head of the table, and Rock didn't say head of the table or champion. He didn't say champion. He just said head of the table. I just want your spot.
And he didn't even mention Roman.
No, at all. But everybody like that. That's what I'm saying.
And that's the way I take issue with. And we're gonna go to commercial in just a minute. We're gonna come back and keep talking about this. But believe everybody with this before we go. I take issue with Paul's promo tonight because he says that The Rock name dropped Roman Reigns when The Rock never said Roman Reigns. If again you want to be real literal with it, all The Rock asked was, "Where should I sit?"
Yeah, like where do you? And he's asking the WWE universe, like,
where do you want me to sit? It's like,
right.
Like, all right, I'm home. I've come home dinner for the holidays. Where should I sit? That seat at the head of the table's open. Can I sit there, please?
Right.
Yep. So we're gonna go to commercial. We're gonna come back. We're gonna talk about this. We're probably not gonna get to everything that we had on tap for tonight, but that is totally okay. We'll be right back after our message from our sponsors.
Royal Billiard and Recreation, proudly celebrating 40 years and our new, bigger showroom.
Twice the size and twice the fun.
More pool tables by Olhausen. More dartboard sets, including custom reclaimed backboards. More bar and kitchen stools that can change a room.
And more bars, including pre-built and custom.
Hot tubs, skee ball, shuffleboard, outdoor,
and fun.
Royal Billiard and Recreation, your ultimate game room store. Now located on Bethlehem Pike in Colmar.
And we thank our friends at Royal Billiards. Find all your game room or man cave needs at royalbilliards.com. Welcome back to In This Very Ring. We are talking Rock, Roman, WrestleMania, Elimination Chamber, the story, all of it. We went off the rails for the last 30, 40 minutes. Guys, I want to put, this has been great conversation, and I know we will continue to talk about this over the next few weeks to come. But I do want to move on from this, and I want to go to our next segment. So final thoughts, Rock, Roman, everything we've kind of talked about over the last 40 minutes or so, some final thoughts, and then we're going to move on. Pete, we'll start with you.
Glad that it's happening. There's going to be some sacrifices to be made. Still believe that this reign that did mean something these last 3 years. But once again, like I said, when CM Punk had his reign for over a year, he ran through everybody, mowed everybody down. And that's when Paul was carrying the title. And then they had to take a pivot because The Rock became available. There's certain stars, when they become available and they have that window of opportunity, you have to capitalize while top. And WrestleMania 40, I can't wait. Can't wait.
All I have to say is as long as it's not for the title, I'm in. I just don't want to see Rock Roman for the title. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
I am perfectly okay with this happening now. We've been clamoring for this for a while. I was upset that it didn't happen last year, but after The Rock talked about it on McAfee's show why it didn't happen, I was very okay with it. But then at the same time, very much I need this to happen soon. And I think this time, this era of WWE, this renaissance, if you will, of professional wrestling that we're going through, I think is the perfect time for it to be happening. So with that, we are going to transition. We're going to go in our Wayback Machines back to last Saturday night. AEW Worlds End. Samoa Joe, MJF for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. Samoa Joe ends MJF's reign, which we all kind of saw coming because word had broke, I believe the day before, maybe that morning. MJF has been working hurt for a while now. So it was the right time. It was the right person. But more importantly, the devil finally revealed himself, and it was none other.
Time.
Oh shit! It was none other than Adam Cole. He was flanked by Roderick Strong, Matt Taven, Mike Bennett, the Kingdom, and surprisingly, but not surprisingly, Wardlow.
I was surprised.
That was a shocker.
I wasn't though, because
The others didn't surprise me. The fact that it was the Kingdom, Roddy Strong and Adam Cole, that did not surprise me. We all called it months ago. But the Wardlow was that surprise factor.
But and every faction needs a big guy.
But not even just that.
What?
If you think back, Wardlow comes back and he makes a comment about MJF.
Yep.
Says, I'm coming after your title. But then Wardlow seemingly disappears.
Yep.
Right? The Kingdom seemingly disappears. Roderick Strong was still around doing little things here and there. And then Roddy slowly disappears. Right? It all made sense. But they played their hand almost. Right? Which is typical AEW. Having Wardlow, if Wardlow comes out, never mentions MJF once.
Yep.
And is seen every so often. He's doing these other little storylines, whatever. And then he takes the mask off. I think that's a bigger shock than Adam being the devil.
Mm-hmm. Or have him come out and save him. They think he's going to save MJF from the Devils and still powerbombs him. And then he joins.
Or have him had been attacked at one point.
Right.
Or have him have been saved MJF at one point. Right. Whatever.
Bless you.
God, thank you. So,
Mm-hmm.
I got really just stuffy there for a second.
That's time of year, boys.
You sure that ain't a fat guy problem?
No, I don't know what it
stuffing,
is.
not feeling stuffy.
Yeah, no, I don't know what it is, but maybe it's because
it's the weather change. No, we
don't. So normally we have some fans on in here, but with it being relatively cold outside, not trying to overheat or freeze us out, I just have it room temperature in here. No fans on, no nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's just stuffy air in general in here.
Well, it doesn't help when that the weather goes from 35 degrees in the morning to like 60, 70 degrees in the afternoon.
Back down to 40 at night.
Exactly.
But anyway, we're getting off topic. What did you guys think? And we'll go around the room, right? And I don't care if you watched the show, didn't watch the show. When you watch the reveal, though, because I know we've all watched it.
Mm-hmm.
How do you think it was done? Did they telegraph it too much? And think of the whole story too, right? Think of everything leading up to this moment. Did the reveal pay off for everything we had seen so far? Pete, we'll start with you.
The reveal and the way that they did it, him about to be attacked, chair in the ring, then lights out, comes back, and he's sitting there. That part of it I loved. All right. That part of it I loved. Everything else, I'm about to shit on. I fucking hated it.
I can't wait. Somebody else is going to trash AEW, and it's not me.
From him pulling out the fucking devil mask, then the shitty fucking promo on Wednesday night where I didn't know what the fuck was going on, where you had the week before, the Dynamite before, Samoa Joe turn on MJF and was in cahoots with the devil. Remember, they had that on screen. Nice doing business with you. Chair shot. To now you're sitting here in a chair because you're hurt. You pull out the little devil mask again. Then you prop Wardlow up, say he's coming for the title. Like, dude, y'all just was in cahoots with this dude last week. Now you saying you coming for the title. And what really pisses me off is that why we need the devil mask on the back of the fucking shirts. Like, I don't bet y'all didn't even catch that. When Taven and Bennett got in the ring and Roddy got in the ring, the devil mask is on the back of their shirts. We know who you are now. Like, how do you introduce yourself as Undisputed Kingdom? TK, where is their merch already? Their merch should already be locked and loaded, ready to go. Not still wearing with the devil mask where everybody named Mama knows that he's not coming around for a while because he's hurt.
Right, and that, like, I get that the devil was synonymous with MJF and his return a few years ago and everything like that. And that's where I kind of I didn't like it. I didn't like the fact that they were taking an MJF. I did in the beginning because it's like, oh, is MJF the one attacking these people, right? But then when it very quickly realized, oh, this isn't MJF, right? As hard as we're all trying to still believe it might be MJF, it wasn't because we're smarter than you and you know it. It didn't pan out that well. So to use his alter ego, right, against him in that aspect doesn't pan out. To your point, right, the second that you have Undisputed Kingdom, like that Titantron change, they should all be walking out in black and white shirts with like a scratch down the middle and Undisputed Kingdom.
Yep.
Right?
There should be no more mention of the devil at that point.
No, not at all.
Because as soon as MJF came back, won his little briefcase, he was done with the devil.
Yes.
Yes.
Right? Now,
you didn't hear nothing about it until All Out.
I get the nice doing business with you with Samoa Joe last week because it got the tag titles off of technically MJF and Adam Cole, and it put the tag titles in the Undisputed Kingdom. Cool. Right. I'm cool with that. And I'm even cool with Adam Cole saying, Joe, and I'm paraphrasing here, I understand that last week we were business partners, but you now have something that I want. So I'm coming for it. But I'm going to send this big bastard to go get it.
See, and that's what I don't like about I didn't like about
he
the
also
promo.
say at that point, like, when he wins it, he'll be happily ready to forfeit it and hand it over.
Yes, that's the part I did not like
you
about that.
You already told me that Wardlow's not lasting long in the Undisputed Kingdom.
Right.
Yep. That's what I was
saying. Undisputed Kingdom, Undisputed Era, whatever the fuck you want to call it, they've never been really but it's always they've never needed a big guy.
No.
So
no, but to say, Joe, I'm sending my lackey here to take the title off of you, and then when I'm healed, he's gonna happily give it up. You look at Wardlow's face like he's like, bitch, I ain't giving shit up. You see it in his face. He's not gonna make it obvious, but you see it in his face.
He'll never be world champion. They would have did it already.
I think he would for this storyline, for them to eventually kick him out because hey, he's not giving me the title up.
Yeah, but you saw what they just did with Luchasaurus and the TNT title.
So hold on. Stop.
That's a whole different thing.
It's a whole different thing, and they're whole different people. Luchasaurus has not thrived as a singles competitor like he was supposed to. Now, granted, a lot of that is bad booking decisions on the black sweatshirt douchebag, but it's more so just the fact of Wardlow was over like Rover. Wardlow has some of the best moments when you think of crowd pops in AEW that aren't surprise debuts or anything like that. And if Wardlow holds on to the title, turns on the Undisputed Kingdom, or they turn on him, that literally sets up a perfect way for MJF to come back. And if you want to bring him back as like because literally this is how you bring him back. Well, I tried being nice to everybody, and the one guy that I thought was my best friend decided to stab me in the back. So I'm now back to being the asshole you all know and don't like anymore.
Yep.
Right? So now you take your over baby face in Wardlow, you put him up against MJF. MJF beats Wardlow, turns around, looks at Adam and goes, "Hey, buddy, I got what you want. Come get it. I'm better than you still, and you know it." And now we get that payoff.
You could. I mean,
hey, man, Undisputed Kingdom sounds like a Disney ride. Whoever came up with that name needs to be fired ASAP.
Fire Tony. Come on.
First of all, I yes. Second of all, let's leave Disney out of this.
But he brings up a good point. It does.
It's horrid. It's the laziest, and no, I'm not skipping, and no, it's not buffering. Laziest name for a faction ever.
Yeah, it's pretty bad, dude.
You're literally tell me you're riding on past fame and success without telling me you're riding on past fame and success.
Because didn't they call it? So obviously we all talk about UE, and that was probably the best iteration of it. But then when they got with the Elite, wasn't it the Undisputed Elite?
Yes.
We're just adding Undisputed to everything.
Because apparently everything with Adam Cole now is just Undisputed. The word Undisputed is synonymous with Adam Cole, as the word glorious is synonymous with Bobby Roode.
I mean,
and phenomenal with AJ Styles.
You call the show the Undisputed in this very ring.
Unless Adam Cole is popping up on this screen and you're not telling me something, no, you can't.
That's crazy, man. I don't know what else you could have threw Undisputed in front of, but
a bus.
You don't. Also that, but you can keep the Kingdom because the Kingdom was an ROH thing.
Right.
The majority of your members are the Kingdom.
Yep.
Why in God's name? Just because we brought Adam Cole. Well, yes, Adam Cole has a better stock than the three of you combined. You don't need to bring Undisputed over with it.
Nope.
But it's Adam Cole, baby.
I would have been perfectly okay if you call them the Devil's Kingdom.
I would have been good if they would have called them KOC, the Kingdom of Cole. Boom, done.
Even better.
Done. Like it's not that fucking hard. And you could just
KOC.
KOC.
That's the problem. And we have backed ourselves into a corner so many times. We being AEW has backed themselves into a corner so many times. Time after time after bloody time. Do they just sit there and continuously do bad booking decisions? Like, I'm sorry. You give me the reveal of the devil and you give me this Undisputed Kingdom, which should, in theory, their very first feud be up against MJF. And what's the problem? Both guys are injured.
Yes.
And one may not even still be with the company when he gets out of surgery.
When you could have pulled the trigger on this literally months ago.
When was the first they did the Dynamite in Flushing, and it was Joe and MJF? You could have did it then.
You could have done it. Literally could have done it at any point over the last 4 months.
Yeah.
And you could have had such awesome stuff.
Yep.
But now I can't help but say that the Undisputed Kingdom is just going to flounder like a dead fish on a Bass Pro Shop novelty gift and just be there for 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, doing nothing.
Way to redneck that shit up.
Well, I mean, come on.
It's a shame, bro. It's the potential is there. It's just,
you could have done the after All In, All Out, like, to Pete's point, the first Samoa Joe MJF, that could have been your World's End ending right there with the debut, the reveal of the devil, all this crap.
Real, what was it? All right, so you had World's End.
Mm-hmm.
What was before World's End?
Revolution or Full Gear or something like that.
I think it was Full Gear.
Full Gear. That marked them at a year.
You should have done it there.
Yep.
I mean, literally, you go back and you watch the ending of that show, and you could have done it there.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, you think about it, right? And you talk about he was the longest reigning AEW champion. So longest reigning champion in the 5-year, at that time, 4-year history of the company. We sat here and we had a conversation about how to protect Roman, right? And I understand injuries involved. But now you have the complete opposite with AEW. You had your longest reigning champion get pinned twice in less than the span of 2 weeks.
You had your longest reigning champion screw being pinned twice.
Not even pinned twice, pinned once and passed the fuck out.
You had him lose everything.
Yes.
And I don't mean and I'll go deeper here. He didn't just lose the tag titles. He didn't just lose the world title.
He lost
his best friend.
Yep.
We spent so much time building up to them just accepting each other as best buddies.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you just threw it away like the Lion King 1.5.
Toss that bad boy right in the dumpster.
Like the extra energy cards you get out of a booster pack that you don't need anymore.
Fuck you.
How?
Just shoot me.
I'm gonna love this for months.
It doesn't make sense.
Because all right. So now what? Now what are you gonna do? You're gonna have Wardlow feud with Samoa Joe. Well, Samoa Joe's a bad guy.
I think Samoa Joe's in the middle on that one.
No, I think Samoa Joe's still gonna be a bad guy. He can't be a good guy.
He's just a guy that you just don't fuck with. You as a fan, you draw a line of what side he's on.
I'm sorry, AEW fans aren't that smart.
No.
AEW fans absolutely have to have black and white. This is good. This is bad.
They have black and white. They have Tony Storm.
Shut up.
Speaking of Tony, when do we get Tony versus Wendy?
Yeah, dude. What on earth was that? I
Wendy Richter, I'm coming for you, bitch.
What? I thought it was a joke.
I think it was.
No, like, I didn't think she actually said it.
Oh, no. I watched that. It was great.
Oh, I had to go watch it. I had to go find it at that point.
Because they were talking about Mercedes. And then she just, throw out Wendy's name. And I'm just like, man.
And even Tony looks at her like, what on earth?
Yeah,
the money I would pay to have seen the opposite shot to see everybody's reaction to her saying Wendy Richter.
I'd pay money just to see Wendy Richter's face the next morning. Why am I trending? Holy shit.
But anyway, I digress. Right? It's so you're gonna have Wardlow Joe. But at the same time, you've got Jay White and the Guns and the Acclaimed
all coming after the devil.
All going after Adam Cole and the Kingdom.
The Undisputed Kingdom.
But
Tuck for short.
Well,
but hold on. Now the Kingdom boys, Tavern and Bennett.
It's Taven, not Tavern. You keep saying Tavern.
Whatever. I don't care because I don't like the guy. Matt. We're just gonna call him Matt.
Call him Matt. Matt and Mike. Eminem.
Matt, yeah. M&M's.
Matt and Mike. Mike and Ice. I don't care.
Dumbass 1 and Dumbass 2.
Dumbass 2 has 2 kids by a former WWE diva, so he's doing something all right.
Tweedledee and Tweedledum.
Yeah, and it's the same guy that came out to the Power of Love, too, so I ain't got a lot of stock in him.
He tried not to spit it up.
So I will continue here. These guys are just the tag team champions. Yet you have swallow the water, Pete. Yet you have.
I'm laughing at Damon's comment.
Oh, but hold on. These guys are the tag team champions.
ROH tag team champions.
Am I the only? Yeah, and they're not even like the AEW tag team champions. They're the ROH tag team champions. They're the fucking B squad of tag team champions in the company. Don't even get me started on ROH's president. Hold on, stop.
No. They're more relevant right now than AEW's own tag team champions.
I'm on a roll here. You shut your mouth. Know your role. Shut your mouth.
Shut up, Booster Box.
Am I the only? Look here. I'm not the one that's an outdated pack that's not even legal anymore. Sit down, shut up, and be quiet. But am I the only one that thinks that this would go better if Dumbass 1, Dumbass 2, and Roderick Strong were the trios champions?
Yes.
This would all make more sense if they all had titles, because now I have the Acclaimed, right, who are a trio, and I have the Guns and Jay White.
The Bang Bang Club.
Sure. They're a trio going after a trio over here. No, instead what I have is Jay White and his cronies, the Acclaimed, and a washed-up has-been going up against Moron 1, Moron 2, and a guy who's well past his prime.
Sir, that washed-up has-been is in more shape than you and I will ever be.
They're all in more shape than you and I will ever be. That was a given the minute we started talking.
Well, or you could just now you can have Roddy and the Kingdom just take the trio titles off, and then they have more titles. You know what I'm saying?
Nobody gives a shit about ROH anymore, honestly.
They don't, but TK does. He has to make something out of it.
I'm going to die on this hill. I will always die on this hill. Tony Khan, you turn Collision or Rampage. I don't care. Friday or Saturday, doesn't matter to me. I really don't care because I still won't watch it. But turn one of them into an ROH show.
Yep.
Or you just get rid of it altogether.
No, you can't, because you bought it when it was dying, when it was dead and buried. They had a great. I watched the final pay-per-view.
They should have left it at that. I'm sorry.
And you should have, and you bought it, and that's fine. You wanted to buy it for the library. Cool, awesome. And that was all great until you started letting their champions bring the titles on the air, and you started acknowledging them as the Ring of Honor champion, and this, that, and the other thing. And you started having matches. Now you're doing full-blown storylines with these titles where they're just supporting cast members. I mean, hell, the ROH tag titles were held by the AEW World Champion and a former NXT champion, and nobody cared.
Nope. Not even just that. It's just like you can't even give enough time to the main brand titles, and you're creating more titles.
Don't even get me started on this Continental Classic
No.
Crown shit.
No. What was it? Wednesday night. I'd totally forgotten fucking Orange Cassidy was your All-Atlantic champion.
And they remember it was called the Atlantic champion first.
Okay,
then they changed it. Then they changed it to international.
The international up your ass title, I don't care.
To me, international and continental is the same thing.
I've already forgotten that he was even the champion, or that title even existed, because they don't even, like, to your point, they don't give enough time for their champions.
And then now Eddie Kingston is a three title champion. It's like,
yeah, cool. He's got a New Japan title.
You want to tell me that a tournament doesn't matter more? Let Eddie Kingston tell me, hey, I'm going to put my 2 titles on the line at the start of this tournament. Anybody that beats me was going to win these titles. So that way, in every match, these titles will be defended. So that way, in the finals, somebody's going to walk away with 3 titles.
ROH didn't mean shit when Joe gave up the title after choking out, after making Keith Lee tap.
Thank you and good night. No,
but
all that tournament did.
Hold on, and then you're gonna give me another title, okay? And then you're gonna put Eddie Kingston against John Moxley. Like, we haven't seen that a million bloody times.
All this tournament did was give you Eddie Kingston finally beating John Moxley, which he had never done. That's all it did.
And ask me a better question.
Do you care?
Not a lick.
Like, it would have been better off if they didn't give Kyle Fletcher the TV title at the last pay-per-view final battle, and he would have been the kid from Aussie Open. But that's what I'm saying. Like, use this tournament to elevate somebody.
Oh, you mean like Swerve?
Don't. Dude.
I couldn't help it.
I can't.
Pete opened that door wide open with that one.
I can't say I'm the biggest Swerve fan,
right?
But I have a lot of respect for the guy, and that is somebody that you need to highlight and showcase more of.
Yep.
Right. That is somebody who is the future of your brand. When you think of AEW, and I think of everybody that's in pictures, in programs right now, it is the exact same people that it was pretty much since day one.
Yep. And the only time it changes is because people get hurt, they go away, for whatever reason, they get suspended. It's like we're not elevating anyone new on a long-term basis. And then on top of that, you go back to certain shit like, okay, we just had Swerve, who is on a hot streak, beat Hangman Page, choked him out, was in his house at his kid's crib. Now he's closing out a Dynamite, and all of a sudden Page is back. Like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, we thought we have a blow-off match like that, it's over. Move on. No, let's go back to it. Like, it's just
AEW is like the psycho ex-girlfriend that you can't get to go away.
It's fucking John Mellencamp out the side of the house with the boombox, bitch. Like, I don't understand. That's why I said, like, I forget, it was on some WrestleBlog page, and they said they talked about how the talks with WWE and Mercedes had broken down, and now Rhodes are leading the AEW. Like, it's cool, get your money, but like, you're gonna hit your horse to a company that may not be around in 5 to 7 years. Because
I know you'll be around in 5 to 7 months. They don't have a TV deal.
I thought that was done.
No.
Wow. And then
last I heard, they still don't have a TV deal.
And you alienated the people who helped you get it started because what? Matt Jackson's wife left, who for some reason she was getting 7 figures. I mean, come on, like, that's crazy. But you don't see, there's no reference to the Bucks at all. There's right now, there's no reference to the Elite whatsoever. Because Kenny's out. So yeah. I don't know. And then you got Jericho out here who his skeletons is coming out of his closet. We heard how I think Damian.
By the way, we will not be talking about Jericho's skeletons or anything like that.
Exactly.
I've done a really good job over the last 6 or 7 years of avoiding bullshit like that.
Right.
We will continue to do.
But the only thing I'll say to it about it is that's a stain on what you have going on from your product outside of the dookie stains that you putting on the product itself and your booking. Like it's not consistent, it's not coherent, and
like I love the idea of how they would do long-term storytelling, and in certain aspects when it mattered, they would come back to something. They wouldn't forget the past,
Right.
which is something WWE was pretty notorious for a while. But now it's literally beating a dead horse on some of these things.
When you talk about shitty booking, let's look at Wednesday night, and this is, in my opinion, part of what to be shitty booking.
I can't wait for this.
The in-ring debut of Mariah May.
Yes.
Great, cool. I want to see this in-ring debut. I watched the match. Great. Now you're going to ruin it with the debut of somebody else.
I don't think it ruins it, though. And I'll explain to you why. And I get what the internet's been saying, right? We have an in-ring debut, but then we debut Deonna Purrazzo, everything like that. One, it was the right play. One thing AEW is really, really good at is they're
doing stuff
really
in
good
the backyard. Yep.
At debuting people in their backyard, so they're guaranteed a good pop. Fine. You want to put Deonna in line for Tony. How else do you do that right now? You have her come and you have her steal the spotlight, because Tony's all about the spotlight right now. Steal the spotlight from Tony's, for lack of a better phrase, lackey, crony, whatever you want to call it, right? Now, Deonna's going to run through Mariah, which is good for Mariah, right? Because Deonna has the ability to make Mariah look good. But then she's going to go after Tony. Now in one fell swoop, you've given Deonna a purpose. You've given her a story. You've given her an opponent before she gets to Tony. She's not automatically getting thrusted into a championship match, which is something I feel from time to time AEW has been known to do. You're setting up the stage, hopefully, and I know they're going to screw us all in the end, but you're setting the stage for Deonna to kind of build her way to Tony. Right? Don't get me wrong. If it was anything else and she doesn't mention Tony Storm in that promo, she doesn't say, hey, tell Tony whatever, then yes, I think it's bullshit, and I think they
give it. All the women always debut and say, I'm coming after the women's world title.
What else, in truth, though, what else would they be there for? The only thing, it's just, here's the thing. I don't like the way
because this person is tied directly. It's different if she comes out and does it. I'm gonna pick a random name here. Oh my god, I can't even think of somebody that's to Saraya, or
who was champion at one point for no fucking reason.
Also, yes. To Chris Statlander, to give me somebody else on the roster.
Willow Nightingale.
It doesn't matter. That you're just a basic intro promo, whatever. It doesn't give any justification to it. Oh yeah, everybody says that. Everybody says they want the title.
Mm-hmm.
You're doing it to somebody who is directly tied to the champion. You're giving yourself a line.
It's like, well, I get that, but at the same time, you don't want to go after the TNT title?
For what? She's a former world title holder. That's beneath her.
No disrespect to Chris Statlander or even Jade Cargill, right? Both of who are doing wonderful things with the TNT title and that stories, and they did the stuff they do over there, right? But you are taking arguably the greatest knockouts, Impact, TNA, whatever they're calling themselves this week, women's champion, bringing her into the fold, putting her on a main stage for the first time in her career. You don't have her go after the lesser title. When she is more popular than all of them, you don't have her go after that secondary women's title. That would be like CM Punk going after the United States title right now.
Get that.
right? That if you want to equate it to something WWE related, that's what it's like right now. So I get it. I respect where you're coming from. I respect where the internet wrestling community is coming from, because you're not the only person that thinks this way. Right? But if we take a step back from it, and again, pop calling the kettle black here, if we take out our disdain for AEW booking as a whole, it makes the most sense. It was the right thing to do.
Yep.
We're going to go to a commercial break. We're going to come back. We're going to transition into This Week in Wrestling, which you've kind of already done a little bit here and there. But we've got some other things we want to talk about, and then we're going to get out of here. So we'll be right back after a word from our sponsors. I wasn't queued up.
In our family, food is our daily bond. My nonna, affectionately called Mama by many, found solace and joy in the kitchen, sharing her love through delicious creations. She turned her culinary passion into a flourishing business alongside her husband and sons in 1983. Celebrating 40 years is a testament to our exceptional team, friends, family, and beloved customers. With gratitude, we look forward to the future, expanding our brand to share the highest quality Italian food and wine nationwide. Our heartfelt thanks to everyone who has played a part in our story. Grazie mille.
And guys, if you haven't already done it, you need to absolutely now. Check out Carlino's online for gourmet cheeses, meats, olive oils, gift baskets. Elevate your dining with Carlino's Gourmet Italian Deli. Discover the taste of Italy now. It's an awesome website. Ton of stuff, guys. If you haven't gone after it, you need to now. And we thank them for sponsoring this last segment of our show, This Week in Wrestling. We've already kind of touched on some of the stuff from AEW, but we were asked to talk about it earlier in the show. We're going to talk about it now. The return of AOP and Paul Ellering, aligning themselves with Karrion Kross and Scarlett, who, by the way, as a brunette, looks fantastic.
Yowza.
What do you guys think of that pairing?
I'm happy with it.
And I'll go a step further. What do you think that there's been this overarching story with Karrion about that's kind of surfaced over in the community about him, quote unquote, being the one that breaks people and creates the downfall of things? You saw it with the Bloodline. You know, he put the clock in front of them, and then Sammy and that all exploded. Nakamura went nuts, and a couple other people along the way. What do you guys think about that?
First off, finally, AOP returns, after being signed in 2022. I think it's a great pairing. Nice little dark pairing. You got Paul Ellering and AOP teamed up with the even darker Karrion Kross, and it makes sense. But as far as your question of, him sending people crazy, breaking things up, causing the downfalls, this is probably just going to cause the downfall and split of Bobby Lashley and yet another faction.
That's where I don't understand what the fuck we're doing. Because I thought we were pinning Lashley and the Profits to turn heel. So this is probably one of the few misses or few Tim Alamo's
sentence together.
Every time they get Lashley together with people, all of a sudden they're like, "No, we don't like this pairing. Break them up."
It's like I don't understand where we're you couldn't have them do that to LWO or some shit.
No, never mind. I'm not gonna say it.
You know what I'm saying? I just don't understand. You had the Profits starting to turn the corner with this heel turn, which I think they need more so than these dudes. And you can have two heel factions on the show, or you could have had them do it to the fucking OC or whatever the shit is left of it. You know what I mean? I didn't like it. I like the pairing. Don't get me wrong. I like the visual Ellering out there with Karrion Kross and AOP and Scarlett. I like that. It looks like they all would get a drink in a bar together.
But do we really get two managers for one faction?
Yes. Because you need Scarlett to kind of take you down that dark path that they're wanting with this faction.
Mm-hmm.
But then you need the mouthpiece of Paul Ellering to be able to pull a Paul Heyman in a sense and put everybody over, right? And build some value there, because that's not Scarlett's forte.
Right.
And I don't know if that ever will be, right? Her forte is bringing that darkness, bringing that supernatural, the stuff she's good at, right? Bringing that element into it and giving you those cryptic messages. And you have Ellering there to say, my guys are going to kill you.
Right.
Right? Now, the attack on the Prophets and Lashley, you had no one else to do that to. There is no group of three right now that isn't doing something else where we wouldn't be scratching our heads and going, what? They're like LWO. They're against Escobar and his cronies right now, right? The OC, AJ, and the OC aren't. That's not a trio anymore. The Brawling Brutes are gone. The New Day isn't around. You think of all the trios right now. You don't have anybody. So you had to go after Lashley and the Prophets. And you can still keep Lashley and the Prophets as heels, because you haven't told me that Cross and AOP are heels. You also haven't told me that Cross and AOP are faces. I'm going to look at them right now as they're just going to hurt anybody and anybody.
Well, for me, anytime you attack somebody from behind when they're not looking is a heel tactic.
I don't disagree with you.
You know
I don't disagree with you at all. But when you're doing a return like this, when you're doing a debut like this, right? Because, I mean, hell, that's how Seth won the title from Roman a few years ago. And at the time, Seth was kind of over, kind of that baby face. They were all in that weird spot. You know, a lot of Money in the Bank cash-ins have happened that way. You know, so it's a catch-22 in that aspect, right? You're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. But I
mean, you got to take out the big boy before you can, get started.
That's like I'm also questioning the decision to even put them on SmackDown, to where would they have been better for Raw and maybe take out Alpha Academy or Creed Brothers or some shit like that. Like, that would have made more sense.
That would have made a lot more sense. But knowing that Cross and Scarlett were already on SmackDown, right? You kind of needed that. They're the SmackDown Judgment Day.
Judgment Day Light.
Well, no, you need a dark faction that is just going to run roughshod over the masses and not care who they beat up, not care who they have an issue with. And I think SmackDown is missing that element and is missing that darkness about their brand. And I think this is, and especially if they do go that route where Karrion and Scarlett have been this catalyst for either people changing, right? Like we saw with Nakamura, or for things to, be the harbinger of things to come when it comes to the bloodline.
There's an anime I watch, MHA, My Hero Academy, and the main villain, they all have these quirks, just like special talents, right? Well, the main villain has his quirk, and his quirk is decay. Like, anything he puts his 5 fingers on just decays. Anything he touches, any matter, any mineral. That's kind of what Andy is saying what they try to do to Karrion Kross. Anything he touches is not going to leave the same. It's going to be changed in some way, in a negative way, for whatever reason. If it breaks, it implodes, what have you.
So it's basically WWE's version of the House of Black misting everybody.
Kinda.
Yeah, but I don't hate it though.
No, I don't either.
I'm just throwing that out there
because I think it's a great way to further somebody's story, further somebody's character development. We had it with Bray, right? And the Wyatts, right? Anytime the Wyatts went after somebody, you saw a change in that person after the fact, right? This is a little bit more in your face. This is a little bit more, a little bit more in your face, a little bit more subtle, right? But with the black, the mist with, the House of Black, I love that too because we got to see the renaissance of Julia Hart. We got to see the renaissance of
Lee Johnson.
Yeah,
Sky
Blue, right. So there, you can do a lot with it, and it gives you an excuse to not repackage somebody, but elevate somebody, to change somebody without having to explain a lot of things. Oh, they went up against Cross and AOP. Yeah, no, this makes total sense now.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's what they go with. It's just, once again, like, it's tough in 2 hours, man. That 2 hours of programming, they got to hit on everything. But it's good because, if you get a spot on the show on TV and you get a match that, like, not every talent can work that, because you just don't have, you're limited on the time of what you can do.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Agreed.
What did you guys think of the finish to SmackDown?
Tell me, you saw it coming a mile away.
Yes.
Right? Yep. And I think that's, like, just tell me you're going to give me the Fatal 4-Way match. Stop giving me these, bullshit matches that I know aren't going to matter. And just tell me, hey, you four are going to fight at the Rumble.
They had to have a main event somehow for New Year's Revolution.
Trying to be nice. And trying
Come on,
to be good.
Box, say what you're going to say.
You could have done so many other things.
Hell, you want to talk about bullshit? I wasn't going to watch NXT this week, and then I remembered, we got a damn good main event. Only to be fucking swerved.
And what? So somebody catch me with that. So they didn't do it. They had Trick go against Grayson Waller for the number one spot at that point. Where did Carmella fall into all this again?
He just came down there to help. He didn't really do anything. Oh, Kevin Owens hit Grayson Waller and Trick got the pin.
But because it furthers the Grayson Waller Kevin Owens story.
Right.
I there is a small part of me that says him Dragunov not being medically cleared is true. Right? There's a small part of me that says things that they had to scramble at the last second, which is why you saw Kevin lives in Orlando, right? Grayson lives in Orlando. These were people that they could call last second to throw something together that we could kind of believe, right? We believe Grayson can come out, cut this promo, egg Trick into putting a shot on the line, and then we know that Grayson and Owens have a history. So when Kevin Owens comes out and attacks Grayson Waller, we're not sitting here going, "What the hell are you doing?" Right. If there is some truth to it.
I mean, I get it. They were playing off the storyline from last week of the injury. To your point, he could be he could be injured, for real. But to just, I don't know, it just felt.
Watching it back, and when you watch the way WWE did everything, it was almost like a last second, oh my God, this can't happen. So they had to do the best that they could given the time that they had.
Mm-hmm.
That's my only, I didn't like it. I really wanted the match.
Right.
I think Trick's winning.
Because honestly, like I said, I originally wasn't going to watch NXT. I was just going to go to bed, and then I remembered, we're going to have a damn good main event, only to turn it on and go, we're not off.
Right.
But speaking of NXT, though, did anybody else see the slingshot?
Slingshot.
Oh, you mean the longest yard?
I believe I can fly.
And that dude blew.
So LWO's in a trio tag match. I don't remember. I'll have to send it to you, but I don't remember who does what.
It's Drew Gulak's guys.
Who cares? But the guy goes to do a springboard off the rope. The other two guys pull the rope, and they slingshot him about halfway up the ramp.
Well, no, I didn't see that.
You have your phone on you? I'll send it to you.
It's probably considered one of the longest like suicide dives in wrestling.
So I'm assuming so it was because it was Gulak. Was it
Here, check your messenger. Turn the volume down on it, but check your messenger.
It was Gulak's group of lackeys, him and his lackeys versus LWO.
Wild. Oh, that's Wild King Wild. Yeah.
Yeah. Watch this. Watch this.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Boy, he gets some height and some distance. Because another video I saw keeps playing that clip and they show much of different replays from different angles. Dude got height.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a really cool moment. But
then one more thing.
Sure.
What are we doing with Tiffany Stratton in this losing streak? We've done nothing but lose since she lost to Becky.
Everybody does that though. Everybody goes through a losing streak after they drop the title, and it's leveling her back out so she can do the climb again.
Yep.
I would hope so because I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I just feel like they just not want to do anything with her.
I forgot all about Lola Vice had the breakout tournament win. And
trying to cash in and didn't get that far.
We couldn't do it like a run-in on somebody's spot in the tournament and then have Nikita enter the tournament, take that spot to win.
But all right, guys, that is going to be it for us tonight. Royal Rumble is in a few weeks' time. It is in 3 weeks.
3 weeks from tomorrow. 3 weeks from today, because now it's Saturday.
You're in, yeah. So get ready because Rumble drafts are coming. Mock Royal Rumbles are coming. Either next week or the week after. But we will definitely be doing some chaos with those. But we want to thank all our sponsors, Carlino's, Hats.com, Royal Billiards, Al Lindsay Travel. Thank all those guys. Check all our sponsors out in the links in our description. We will see you guys next time. Until then, tell somebody you love them. Go Eagles. And we'll see you on the other side.
Fuck them right now.